Welcome. This will be my spoiler-free review of 1978's Avalanche. The arcade game, not the movie. I have no clue about the movie other than it exists, and it popped up when I searched for this on IMDb to see if I could do a text review of this game. So, yeah. To start with, right. I really love this game. And, yeah. Everything I said about like this general rule of like arcade and arcade style games in my video on Space Harrier 2 still applies to this one, so I'm not gonna repeat in this what I said there. This game, think Pong. Oh, right, and if you want to play this, it is available in the Atari 50, the Anniversary Celebration. I think it might be DLC. I recently got the DLC, so yeah, I'm sure somewhere someone has made like a clear list of what is and isn't DLC for these. Um, yeah. So the game, think Pong, but single player. There are like, let's see, I think it's about half a dozen of the paddles instead of just one, stacked vertically. In Pong it's a ball. Here it's rocks. They also move vertically, and sometimes multiple rocks will fall at the same time, but slightly different, like slightly different. There'll be a little bit different distance between them, so you have to move back and forth across the screen to catch them all. If you use the same of the paddles multiple times, I didn't count. It's a fast-paced game, but if enough hit, then eventually that paddle will break. Once you've caught all for one level, the next level will start. And I'll admit I didn't get that far. I think my current record is like 225 caught. As far as I could tell, nothing really changes no matter how far you really get in this. It's basically just each time you complete a level, which is catching a certain number of rocks as best as I can tell, the next level will start. It'll move a little faster, and sometimes, I'm not sure if it's always, you will start with less pad of the yeah pads for catching rocks. And I can imagine if you play for long enough, you'll end up only having one of them, which will of course make it significantly more difficult. So there's a little bit of a background image, but the levels all look exactly the same. And you can sort of see where the rocks are coming from. I don't know if you play for long enough, if eventually that area will be completely devoid of rocks or not. Now, I read that the annoying sound made when you catch one of the rocks is purposeful. It's meant to throw off the player, which I quite appreciate, that bit of trolling. But yeah, you might not necessarily be able to play for terribly long in a row at first, and if you play it a bunch of times, you'll get better. I think to lose, you have to miss 3 rocks, and when you miss one, basically the level will start over. So you can't miss 3 within like a couple of seconds, even if there were several really close to all being dropped at the same time. And yeah, it is quite addictive to play. Like the other ones I've played of the Atari 50 Anniversary Celebration so far, this does not have save states or rewind, but it also wouldn't really make sense to, that's really more for arcade and arcade style games that are much longer and where there's more that changes. Like, fairly recently I completed Final Fight 1. Really glad that one had save states. But yeah, there's not an awful lot to say. I think that it's distinct from Pong. It doesn't feel like it's just, oh, Pong again. And yeah, the I one thing I really appreciate about it was the fact that the vertically stacked pads that you have for catching means that at the start of the game you have like essentially 6 chances to catch at least some of the rocks, the ones that start the furthest away. So what you'll find yourself doing is strategizing and thinking, well, obviously you want to focus on the ones that are the closest to the bottom. And basically, you'll find yourself thinking, can I catch that one in time, or should I focus on the one further down and then return for that one? And this is all, in combination with the lightning fast reflexes, the hand-to-eye coordination it requires. So yeah, it's like a lot of the best arcade games. It is one where, yeah, you find yourself really, yeah. Each time that I found myself reaching the game over screen, I was thinking, I bet if I work hard, I can, increase my high score. It's that's the, I mean, games in general tend to try to go for this, obviously, but it can be a sign of a bad game if when you lose, you feel yourself just going, well, it's badly designed. There's nothing, yeah, no matter what I do, it doesn't seem to really work for the game, which sometimes, yeah, there are games out there that are essentially broken. You can't actually play all the way through. And yeah, I'm not sure that I have that much more to say. The music also does a good job of getting you thinking about, yeah, keeping the pace intense. And the let's see. I also really appreciated the way that the controls, like, sometimes you'll have to move such a small distance between two different rocks that if you press, you can only go left or right. If you press the, say, left key, which, like, I don't know, I hope America goes pretty far left after seeing how terrible Trump is. If you don't press it, if you really press it full on, you'll just go too far and might drop. You have to, like, tap it. And at the same time, there's a pretty good distance between, the two edges. So sometimes you will have to go far. And I quite appreciated the precision. And at the same time, sometimes you really have to hit the gas. Yeah, I think that might be it. I guess it's obvious to say, I'm not sure how much it'll appeal to people who don't already like arcade games. Yeah, maybe I wouldn't necessarily say this is a good first arcade game. Yeah, I think this is more one, when you've played others, it's good to go to. But yeah, I don't know. Do I sound like I just love every arcade game I play? I guess it's just, I'm not sure I can think of one that I've come across that's just like not at all worth playing at least a little bit. Yeah, uh, yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, since this is the first of the DLC ones that for this game that I play, yeah, so far pretty happy that I got that DLC. And yeah, let's see no, yeah, that's everything that I have to say about this one. So I rate this 8 rock falls that you have to deal with out of 10.